Good morning, everyone. I feel like I have an old friend here already. Kevin Palmieri, welcome from Next Level University. So we were talking offline. I had the pleasure of interviewing Alan, your partner. We had such an amazing conversation. He's going to be on my podcast. I said you're sneaking in on the Facebook Live, so people are getting to meet you. I'll give a precursor though. On Saturday at 10 we get to meet Alan and his girlfriend, and we're going to talk about relationships on Saturday. And I don't normally do a Facebook Live, but it's going to be fun because we're going to sort of talk about relationships and getting ready for Valentine's Day. So that'll be kind of fun. And then we might get you back.
We're gonna try for
We're
Friday.
going to try.
Yes.
So, excuse me. So Kevin is part of, I love it because I love when people do branding right behind, but Next Level University, we're going to talk about that. Kevin found himself at the crossroad when he realized that all the things he had to accomplish, which included a six-figure income, the car, the house, they just weren't fulfilling you. And I say that all the time. Like, I've lived maybe just long enough to be able to say that, there's things about money that make life at times easier, but they don't stop the bad things from happening, and I've watched that as well with friends. Bad things happen whether you have money or you have no money. And, I love that we're going to sort of get into that today, but I want people, because they haven't heard the podcast yet, tell me a little bit about what you and Alan do together and what Next Level University really is all about.
Sure. So we thank you for the introduction. I appreciate it very much. We actually got a really good compliment recently where somebody said, what I love about you guys is you're so heart driven, but you're no BS. So we tell the truth about what it really takes to succeed at the level that you want, but we also try to do it with as much empathy as possible, because I've been suicidal. I've been broke. I've been very, very emotionally driven. I've been a lot of things. And Alan has his own version of that too.
Right.
So our goal is to help people get to the next level of their life, their love, their health, and their wealth. We want to be able to do it all. And I think it's important to try to become the most well-rounded version of yourself, because like you said, I was good with the wealth and I was good with the health, but I wasn't necessarily good with the love or the overarching theme of my life. So basically, if it was an elevator pitch, we want to help you get to the next level of your life, love, health, or wealth. No matter where you are, there is another level, and we want to help you get there.
I think that people, we drive people, and, our kids, we say, you got to be successful. You got to make money, because somehow being successful means you're making money. And we leave something out in the middle that says, one, what that looks like, and we forget that happiness component. And if ever there's a time, all of a sudden we're in the middle of this pandemic, and I have millennial children who are going through this, one's working, one's looking for a job, and they feel, very frustrated because, the pandemic isn't their fault. And if they're out of work, it's just challenging, and like, oh, I'm not successful, or I'm not doing this. And they feel that, and it's like, no, sometimes things happen. Sometimes things come at you. And if you don't have the tools, to deal with it, because you've been ingrained to say success, go be successful. Here, we've given you an education, now go be successful, but we don't really say what success is. Sometimes
nobody defines it for themselves.
Right.
I'm convinced. I had a call with a client. So I work with early entrepreneurs, and she said, I love where I'm at, but I just expect it to be further. And I said, okay, you've been in business for a year and a half. Where did you expect to be? And sorry, she said this, I'm not sure.
Right.
You just told me that you wanted to be further. I said, I am convinced that you thought you would feel further along, not be. I think people, especially emotionally driven people in business, they want to succeed in business because they think it'll fill a void where it actually, in a weird way, can make the void worse. It's
Yeah.
if you think this is going to be the blanket that fixes your insecurity or lack of confidence at the beginning of business, your confidence is the confidence of the business. It's not the other way around. It's this weird thing.
So how do you start with someone who comes to you with sort of that? Is it, set your goals, set your expectations?
For me, it's digging. It's
Yeah.
I want to know 9 times out of 10. So I work a lot with women. 9 times out of 10, there's a block around money. There's a
Mhm.
block around asking for money. Like the women I work with are really, really good at building communities. They're really good at getting exposure. They're not good at asking for what they're worth and then
Mhm.
finding the right fit. It really is that easy for a lot of these people. They're way better at connecting than I am, right? But I might have a little bit more, a stronger acumen in sales just because I've been practicing it a little bit longer. So I literally just want to know them. I
Mhm.
want to know them because, and I always thought, like you said, I thought the house, I thought the car, I thought the model girlfriend, I thought that would make me feel better. And I think now the barrier of entry to business is a lot lower, that people think like, you know what? Once I have a business, I'm going to feel better. But at the end of the day, if you're a solopreneur, your skill level is going to be the level that your business grows to. And I just think it's understanding somebody at a deep level. This podcast used to be called Hyper Conscious, and we
Mhm.
rebranded. So my goal has always been to get to like somebody's why. Like I want to know, how was your childhood? Because I bet you that has something to do with the way you receive money, right? So for me, it's an approach of mindset, strategy and systems, habits, and then getting out of your comfort zone is kind of where I live with my clients.
It's so interesting that you say that because I was having a similar conversation to that this morning where um, it, the woman it is centered around how uh, a man is sort of handles the money.
Mm,
And I, in my business that, it's just me, but it is sometimes, hard to say I'm worth this and change your pricing. I was in a business networking meeting the other day, and the business coach said to this big group, how many of you have changed your pricing, and which is difficult in the middle of a pandemic, and he recognized that, but on the same token, it was more about people don't um, they can tell people like, well, you should change your pricing, you should, and I do that all the time with my clients. Don't be afraid, don't put everything on sale, not everything's about a sale. But myself, I don't necessarily change my pricing, I don't necessarily um, um, boast my own value, you know
yeah.
I
I
know that I'm valuable,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I don't necessarily
But is
come.
there I'd love to get your opinion on this. I think there's a break between changing your price and communicating your price.
Well, I agree, and I also think it isn't just changing your price. It's the what you're getting and the value of it. And I think that it isn't, this pen is now, 20 cents versus 25 cents. It's the value. And the truth of the matter is that we tend, as you say, to undervalue our value. And, we know how hard we work. And probably I say this more than ever since last March. I thought I worked hard before, as an example. I feel like I've never worked harder. I have the most amazing clients who appreciate it. Um, Maybe they wouldn't bat an eye if I changed my pricing and said, my value, but I think that we just don't do it.
Mm.
I kind and we get stuck there. And I think a lot of people, and I think you're right. I think women in particular um, are are afraid. I think that afraid is an appropriate word there. Um, Men, it is a gender kind of thing.
And I
Not
think that this way too, and I don't want to blanket statement anybody, obviously, but
right.
I think the men slash masculine energy gets into business to make money. I think the feminine female energy gets into business to help. And I
Mhm.
am convinced I've seen this so much. I've had two of my clients that I've said, like, what's your income? Like, what's your income versus your outcome in your business? And they said, I don't know. I haven't checked my bank account. That's, I get not frustrated. I get passionate because
Yeah.
I know you want to help people, but you're going to help people to the ground. You're going to burn yourself and your business to the ground, and you're not going to be able to help people forever.
Oh
You're
my
going to
God,
help.
Kevin, I feel like this is good business therapy for me. I always say these Facebook lives, I somehow get selfish, but like, it's really true. I hope women like are sort of listening right now, because I think that somehow you're 100% right. And we shouldn't lose that. I think that women by nature are nurturing in their businesses, and not to say that the men who, for instance, do what I do, um, you know, I can equate that we do the same job. We're both good at it, let's say, but there might be a different nurturing effect to it. But there probably, you're right. There's a certain amount of, here's my price, here's my proposal, and mine might be, here's my price, here's my proposal. A little different timidness, and there shouldn't be. And we've got to really change that trajectory.
Yeah. But I think it's leaning into the unique fact that from my experience, most women are way better at building relationships.
Mhm.
The more relationships you can build. So this is very much my business mindset and my strategy right now. It's scale the unscalable. So my good friend Mark Metry told me that. He's like, Kev, just scale the unscalable. And I was like, all right, I think we're in a good point in business where we can do that. So if
Mhm.
you follow me on Instagram, you'll probably get a custom video. I will shoot a custom video and send it to you. Thank you for the follow. I respond to every DM. I respond to every comment I can. I literally go back on my system of success, the things that I do every day. One of them is to touch a member of the Next Level family. I'll send them a message, a text, an audio, just to see how they're doing. We're
Mhm.
building a community, and it's not a pitch, it's not a product, it's not a service, it's a feeling. We're building a feeling that then, down the road when we have more products and services, we can leverage that. But I think that women are in a better position than they realize. They just haven't connected. And again, blanket statement. I don't want to
Right.
exclude.
No, but I think you're right. It's connecting what I mean, I think it's always connecting what you're most good at with maybe your weaknesses, and working on that, and I don't like to say weakness either, but you've got your strength, and none, it's hard to work on the one that isn't your most
Yeah.
strength, but taking that, you know.
Yeah.
Um when you engage with Next Level University, and I brought this out with Alan when we did the podcast, but I want to do it here. Tell me, when people are listening right now and you go to nextleveluniversity.com, you come to the site, there's so much information. It's amazing. But what are you getting? What is it that you're engaging in with you guys?
My goal and what I hope people are getting is I want them to say, me too. Like I was like that once. Maybe I'm like that right now.
Hmm.
One of my biggest fears is losing relatability. I'm terrified of that. I'm terrified that people will look at me and say I can never be that, because I don't believe that. I
Hmm.
I was not like this for most of my life, and I still have a long way to go. So I want people to find a sense of belonging, a sense of community. We believe that heart, emotional driven people can succeed with the right mentors, with the right knowledge, with the right habits, like with the right people in their corner and the right community. We really believe that the next leadership level for people is going to be, it's going to be emotionally driven people.
Hmm.
And it's not going to be so business minded. It's not going to be, you can't have a day off, like a mental health day. Like we don't do that. Like that'll
Yeah.
never happen here. It doesn't, that's not how we run our business. Our business
Well,
is catered to the people that work with us.
and I've said this before, and I actually even said it yesterday. I think on during this time is, and I was talking with a bunch of retail owners, small business, is people want to engage with like-minded, but also engage with people who care about them and show that. And so, not to slam big department stores by any means, but you go into a store, and if somebody knows your name or wants to know your name or engage with you, um, that's where you want to do business. That's who you want to be around. And I think that that's really what our future involves. You want to be with people who want to connect with you. It grows that passion.
Yeah.
And I think that really is what we're going to see. um, I think that the big box stores are going to have to learn from the community, from the small, in order, to stay alive. Um, but I think that customer service, that uniqueness, is really what people are really missing right now and gravitating towards.
Yeah. I always equate it to a couple, not, I wouldn't call them restaurants, they're fast food chains, but I don't know if you have Chick-fil-A where you are.
Yeah,
What's
more and more, more and more every day.
right? What's the difference between Chick-fil-A and McDonald's? Customer service.
Mhm.
Customer service. It's actually more expensive than Chick-fil-A, right? Their menu isn't as crazy. They don't have as many things. Their customer service is top notch.
Mhm.
Why? Because they pay their talent, their employees better, and they take better care of their
Right.
employees. So I think it's the culture too.
Mhm.
The culture is like, we want to get to know you here. And I think people are willing to pay for that. People already pay for convenience.
Right.
What if you have convenience that over delivers? I'm convinced a lot of people, I think, under promise and over deliver. What if you promised and over delivered? Why do we have to under promise? Why don't we
Mhm.
promise and over deliver anyway? I think that's where things are going. I think genuinely,
Yeah.
I think quality is going to win long term.
Well, and I don't think I think that you never hear people complain when they spend a little bit more and have that experience. We used to talk about the Disney effect, and I think that's just it. But I think that that's what people really want to model. And I love we're sort of at the end of our time, because I know that people will only sit for so long. Um, but you really need to go to nextleveluniversity.com. I put it on this link, and I'll share it again on my personal page. I hope that I can grab you back next week. You'll
Yeah.
let me know.
Text my girlfriend right after this and see if she.
Okay, good. Because I'm dying to talk relationships going into Valentine's Day and get everybody on the same page, and growing their relationships into a week of love. I think we all need to have great love in great relationships in their life. Um, Give Alan my love. I'll see him Saturday. You have a great partner. He also has an amazing story that you'll be able to hear on my podcast. But in the meantime, head over to nextleveluniversity.com. You can learn more about Kevin and Alan. I always tell people you don't need to sign up right away, but you need to explore these websites and explore your podcast and learn, because what I love about what's happening in the world right now, there's lots of free.
Oh
There's
yeah.
lots of great resources, and engage in that and learn from that, and then you'll find you want more. And I think that I've been doing a lot of that during this pandemic, um, and then the truth is that you find that the value is in wanting to pay for more and more things. And I think that's what's been really great, that there's enough engagement in some of the free things, but then the value comes. And I encourage people to not just pay for things right away, to dive in and take a look.
And we have plenty of free
Yeah,
540 episodes, 540 episodes.
I
All are
know.
free.
I mean, there's so much great evergreen like content out there, but I do think that as we talk about value, sometimes you have to pay for for good value too. So there, I always say there's a great balance out there.
Well, thank you for this. I appreciate you. I appreciate
I
your time.
appreciate. I really have enjoyed getting to know Alan and now you, and I hope that both of you guys maybe we'll do something coming up in March where I have both of you guys on. It would be
Sure.
fun. I want you guys to stay connected with me. I learn a lot from both of
I
you.
appreciate that. We'll definitely stay connected.
All right. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Let me know.
I will.
Okay. Bye.